Hey, Halflings, thanks for tuning in as we continue another spooky book for October. I'm really sorry, I meant to record more spooky stories, but it just didn't work out this time. Maybe next year. And then this book is not technically like a spooky book, I guess. It's got a little spook to it, according to the description that Mary Pope Osborne wrote for it. But it just kind of worked out that we had to do this book next anyway in the series, and it happened to be, I guess, one of her spookier stories. It is book number 16 in the Magic Tree House Merlin Mission series, and this one is called A Ghost Tale for Christmas Time. So, without waiting anymore, let's dive in. Chapter 1. Did you see that? Jack and Annie were walking home from soccer practice. It was 4:30 in the afternoon. Sunlight was fading quickly. November has really short days, said Jack. Yeah, but it has really beautiful skies, said Annie. The horizon glowed with the orange light of sunset. Suddenly, a streak of light blazed over the Frog Creek woods. Whoa, said Jack. Did you see that? See what? Said Annie. A streak of light, said Jack. Like a shooting star. Over the woods? Asked Annie. Over the woods, said Jack. He started to run. Run, said Annie. I am running, said Jack. Jack and Annie ran down the sidewalk and into the Frog Creek woods. Their feet crunched through fallen leaves as they raced among the shadows. Finally, they came to the tallest oak in the woods. The magic treehouse sat high in the branches. Teddy and Kathleen were looking out of the treehouse window. The two young enchanters seemed to glow in the fading daylight. Teddy was grinning and waving. Kathleen's long, dark hair blew in the breeze. Hello, Teddy called. Hello yourself, Annie shouted back. Come up, said Kathleen. Jack and Annie hurried up the rope ladder. They climbed inside the treehouse and hugged Teddy and Kathleen. We haven't seen you guys in so long, said Jack. What have you been doing? Oh, learning more magic and practicing it, said Teddy, turning frogs into boys. And boys into frogs, said Kathleen, smiling at Teddy. Yes, I rather enjoyed being a frog for a day, said Teddy. Jack and Annie laughed. We missed you, said Annie. We missed you too, said Kathleen. We were both delighted when Merlin told us it was time to send you on a new mission. Does he want us to help another great artist give their gifts to the world? Asked Jack. Yes, said Teddy. So far you have helped Wolfgang, Amadeus Mozart, Louis Armstrong, and Lady Augusta Gregory. Now, your mission is to travel to Victorian England and help Charles Dickens. His name sounds familiar, said Jack, but I can't remember why. Me neither, said Annie. Well, I am sure you will know a great deal about him by the end of your mission, said Kathleen. In the meantime, here is something to help you. She reached into the folds of her robe and pulled out a book. The cover showed two girls wearing long skirts and big bonnets. The girls were walking along a path lined with trees. Behind the trees were buildings with towers and tall chimneys. London, said Jack. That's the city in England where we met William Shakespeare. Yes, but Charles Dickens lived over 200 years after Shakespeare's time, said Kathleen. He lived in the 1800s during Victorian times. What's that mean, Victorian times? Asked Annie. It means the years during which a queen named Victoria ruled the British Empire, said Teddy. Cool, a queen, said Annie. But can I ask you something? This cover shows girls in long hoop skirts like I wore when we went to the time of Mozart. It was really hard to run and do stuff in those clothes. Can I please wear something else? Teddy laughed. Yes, I think we can arrange for you to wear more comfortable clothing, he said. But you may have to pretend to be a boy. That's okay, said Annie. So, do we have a magic instrument for this mission? Asked Jack. Indeed, said Kathleen. We gave you a magic flute to help Mozart, a magic trumpet to help Louis Armstrong, and a magic Irish whistle to help Lady Augusta Gregory. Do you still have the whistle? Sure, we left it here, said Annie. She grabbed the whistle from the corner of the treehouse and gave it to Kathleen. Thank you, said Kathleen. She tossed the whistle into the air. It spun around and around. There was a flash of blue. The whistle was gone. Floating in its place were a small violin and a bow. Kathleen reached up and took them from the air. Here is a magic violin to help you on your journey, she said. I really like violin music, said Jack. Good, said Kathleen. She handed the violin and bow to Jack. Then, on this mission, perhaps you should play while Annie makes up a song. No problem, said Annie. And whatever I sing will come true, right? Exactly, said Teddy. Any more questions? Asked Kathleen. Nope, said Annie. Jack was sure he had more questions, but before he had time to think of any, Annie pointed to the cover of the book. I wish we could go there, she said. The wind started to blow. The treehouse started to spin. It spun faster and faster. Then everything was still. Absolutely still.